When we share internationally in a global marketplace, same term, there are 5 stages in international involvement, and we want to talk about those next. Stage 1, a purely domestic firm, in other words, their stage of involvement is that they are purely domestic. They stay in their own country. They focus on their home market. They are not trying to sell abroad or to the country next door. They don't see any competitive threat from abroad. Okay. Such firms might get orders from abroad. They might even think of them as irritable because why are you calling me for this stuff? And it's a small order. It's just, and if they do get an order from it, well, then it's more profit for them. Maybe a lot, maybe a little, but it's not what they are striving for. They are striving to just stay in the country they are in. Stage 2, as they begin to export more and more, they enter the export stage. This is where they make a little effort to market to countries abroad and increase their number of orders that they fill from abroad, but still, they're not quite, all excited about it. Stage 3, though, they're starting to get excited about it. It's called the international stage. As certain countries' markets begin to appear attractive with more orders coming from there and revenue getting higher because of the orders that comes from there, they start to actually consider putting a little more effort into learning about these other markets and figuring out how they can advertise and share their products across countries. Then comes stage 4. They've decided they want to market, they're interested, they've done their studies. Now they're going to become a multinational stage company. It's sometimes more efficient to do that because you can go to a different country and produce your products, yet sell them internationally, or you can have your plant over here that produces it and a plant over in another country that produces it closer to those countries. Like maybe you'll have one over in Europe and you'll have one in the United States. You might have one down in South America, and that makes it easier to get your product out in those areas and more efficient. At that point, you are in a multinational stage where you are standardizing things across a region. Last but not least is stage 5, the global stage. Now you're focusing on the whole world. Okay, you want to share your product with everyone. Okay. Your home country is no longer the center of your product. You have other countries that are just as important, and that's why you are now in the global stage. A good example of a global company is Coca-Cola. They have offices and plants in multiple different countries. They even change the look and flavor of their product based on the region that they are in, whether it's Europe or the US. In fact, if you go overseas and try a Coke in London, it's going to taste different than the Coke you get here. Some forces in international trade. You don't just go do it. There are some things that can have a good cause and effect or a bad. Trade between countries, comparative advantage. Okay, these countries differ in relative economic strengths, so one has advantages over another. For instance, the U.S. has more advanced technology than Nicaragua, and so we have a comparative advantage over them in some of the things that we produce. Another thing, the international product life cycle. Some countries differ in their timing of demand for various products. We in the United States and Japan tend to pick up our products quickly and move on to the next one very quickly. Other countries are saying, I don't have to have a Note 10. I think I can live with a Note 8 or a 7 or a 6. Or I don't have to have the iPhone X. I can live with an iPhone 6. That's perfectly good to me. So based on their product life cycle and what their demand is at that time, the international product life cycle can affect what you sell in different countries. International transaction costs refers to the fact that when you go to other countries with large scale products such as automobiles, okay, there could be very large costs when you spread these things out over several countries. You have to have people in charge over all those countries. They have to come back and meet and decide on how their different products are going to be different or the same based on the country and how the parent company feels about the different changes. They have to have a plant in each country, or maybe not, but if they choose to, they can have a plant in each country, and they might have to work under different rules in different countries, different pay in different countries, different ways of getting their product out to the consumer in different countries. So, comparative advantage, international product life cycle, and internalization, transaction costs. Forces in the international trade.